here's another issue with this fucking car and its setup. Look out, I'm coming through. Okay, well, this is the GoPro Media Mod. It's just kind of hanging on my GoPro clamp on the sunroof here. We'll see how it works out. The microphone is right by my face, but it's summertime. It's hot in here. I like having the windows wide open. If I have the windows wide open, then I'm like definitely getting probably some wind noise. We'll try it out for a brief second just to see what it's like. It's got a big foam mitt around the microphone, so it might be alright. What are we doing today? Well, I'm gonna move most of the snubbing rig by myself. We got the 40 mid, and we're just out at Rocky, so it's not like, and they're only going a couple clicks, thank God, but I'm gonna be like running my ass off because you're thinking about, you load, you chain. I'm not gonna be super picky because we're only going literally like one township over. Alright, well that's with windows down. I think the biggest problem with this car is just this yes, it is loud. It's quite a bit louder than my TT. It's got two big Japanese cans on the back. I bought it like that. I know I like to keep like OEM look, but it was already like that when I bought it. Plus it had underglow. It was like right Fast and the Furious sorta. It wasn't molested inside, and it had cool Corrado Recaro seats in it, so it's been like blood, sweat, and tears, me in this car. So it's still got pretty much everything original in the engine bay, minus the cams. I did the head, sport cams, head gasket. That's why I was in there, because the head gasket started to leak. So did the three-way grind on the valves, ports. I did some porting and polishing. Never done it before. Didn't have any fucking idea what I was doing. I was just enlarging shit. It's 150 horsepower. I want to put Weber carbs on it, but I just don't think I will. Once this crashes, well, it doesn't crash. I mean, you know what I mean. Like once the CIS multi-injection, well, I don't even know what you really, it's CISE, I'm pretty, but it's got a fuel metering head, dizzy, there's a whole bunch of stuff what's going on underneath the hood here, and so far it's just been doing its stuff under the hood just fine, minus the fuel pump I had to replace in the fuel tank, so that's cool. For a while there it was quite grouchy. It wouldn't start. It'd start always cold, but it wouldn't start hot. I have to drain my bank account. I'll probably need some of that because I still got a week's worth of work before I get paid. Nice signal. I'm using mine. But anyways, okay, we'll put on the old manual fan. No, I haven't put in the oil pressure stuff yet. I haven't changed any of that. I gotta get till then we'll open the window. Maybe a little bit of ripping. Yay! Who's excited to be a wheeler hand? Bull mother shit. You? Fuck, I should have fixed that instead of greasing. Got a old, I hate driving with my dogs in because you never know what might happen. But they leak out. I got another button. I haven't had any time to put it in though, because I've been yo element. Coil bros, they're just like, no, we're above you. I came in and I greased I didn't have a lot of time, so I'm like, oh, let's grease this quick, because I put on, I want to say like, well, I couldn't even tell you, 10, probably more like 10, 15,000 kilometers in like the last week and a half or so, and that's usually what I put it on in a month. So I'm like, oh, I gotta grease the drive shaft. And then, well, of course I'm under there, I'm like, wow, it's only an extra 10 minutes, might as well get everything else while I'm kind of down here doing it, you know, so I don't have to like revisit again in the next week. And yeah, did that. Satisfaction. Go hook up to the trailer, hook up to the Jeep. It's over on the other side of the yard. Cool, no problem. Grab it, come over to the mid, run the airlines from the Jeep to the mid to air it up so it doesn't roll into the ditch while I'm trying to hook up to it. And okay, cool. And what, I'm like, oh, I might as well lift the wheel while I'm sitting here waiting, because the wheel was still jacked way up in the air for some reason. I'm like, why is it? Put the air to it, and I'm like, sweet. And then the booster, I mean, the Jeep is like, dude. And then I was like, sweet. And then anyways, you know how the story goes, depending on which movie. Dude who stole my car. And someone stepped on the T-fittings. So where all the airbags lift the wheel, there's all this fucking T-fitting, 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 airlines fucking everywhere, like a little, you know what I mean. And maybe they were broken before, maybe they were not, but they weren't broken the last time I hooked up to it.
medic.
Hello.
Ashton with GS equipment checking out.
Goodbye, Austin.
Goodbye.
Medic 1630, Gerald with Brawler checking back in.
Well, welcome back, Gerald.
Thank you.
See you, Gerald Brawler. Welcome back.
Paramedic.
Hello.
Jason Stewart with DJ checking in. And I'm night shift if that makes a difference to you.
Sorry, you said Jason Stewart with BJ?
Yep, that's right.
Jason, you're checking in or are you checking out?
I'm checking in.
Oh, can you come in when you have a moment?
Sure.
This load and one more. What is it? 4:45. Doing pretty good. I don't want to meet you guys on the pavement. This pavement is really soft. Feel bad for the gravel is good. As soon as you hit the pavement, it's just like very soft bitumen, if you won't, or if you will. Got me testing my skills a little bit. They got the ramp for the sand now in the way. It's not, well, it's not in the way, but it's there. It's definitely added to my selection of obstacles. I was backing across the whole east to a load, which is fine, you know. Today's working good. Not taking 900 stabs, you know? Huh? Haha. We got enough room to work, so there's no need to complain. These people must be real excited that there's a lot of activity in their area now. You got your sweet little homes. That's nice. I'd love to have something like this. And I'd be pissed about an oil field moving into my backyard, but lady sitting on her deck, watching me go by, probably just livid. Huh? crawler truck driving by here 10 times, 11. But this is what you deal with when you're an oil field, right? Like, we have to work with farmers, we have to be around farmers. I know someone's gonna ask, what's with the wall of hay bales? It's for sound protection. You guys go hang around a frac. Next time you see a frac, just pull over and get out of your car and take a listen. But I know a lot of you guys probably don't maybe have fracs happening in your area. I get that too, right? Like, not everybody has fracs. And you should be happy for that, because if you live in the area, you get a lot of traffic, right? I've been nice as possible here, treading lightly, 30 kilometers an hour, even in the 50. Well, the other end, when you come in from the other end, it says 50. And all of a sudden there's a sign that wasn't there, now it's 30 halfway through. And then if you're going back this way, it says 30 and it doesn't say 50 for that other stretch coming from the pavement. I'm like, I could use that extra minute that I'll make, you know, all day. Bro's got an old Western Star over there, small cap. Oh, you wouldn't. Of course you would. I need that side of the road to make the corner without taking out the mailboxes. You don't need to drive over Bro's weeds there in the ditch. Oh, I'm gonna have to stab this one. Drive over their little culvert here. Why do you need a suicide knob? Because I do this all day. And I can catch up to the Jeep way faster with a suicide knob than I was palming it. And if you're palming it, which I do because it's fastest when you don't have a suicide knob. Oh, I have a big callus on my hand. I don't like that. These are like baby soft hands. Maybe not today. They're a little dry. That's right. I said it. I got hands like a bitch. They're soft. They're not like sandpaper. I gotta use these hands. Working the computer. I'm not gonna say working my what. But anyways, this load, one more, and then we're done. Hopefully. checking out and will not be coming back.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
You wake up top there and the door is going to roll this door.
Loaded leaving 16 and 30.
Hey, Mark.
We're just hanging tight here until he gets in here, right?
Correct.
What's with all the boosters? You could just say that you're coming in and I'll fucking sit still. Back truck, guys. It's a lot of bustiers. All their pumps must have boosters now. Well, I'm sure they had them before, but BJ's, yeah. I've seen them with a few where their pumps have single axle.
Loaded 40.
It's a good idea. Gray cloud coming in. Day wouldn't be complete without a shower.
That's nearly done for the day. I got a slack on my truck now. Hey, medic, you have a copy?
Yes, go ahead.
Drew and Brandon with Paloma signing in.
Thank you.
That'd be heavy coming in at 13 and 27. Those fine rolls. He's like, I don't want to be on camera. I was trying to catch fineness of my load flying up there.
Thanks.
Roger, dude.
Hello, Medic 13 at 27. Gerald and Brawler checking out for the evening.
Thank you.
When it's 37. Oh, soaked. It's only a modest 32 around the truck. Sweeping, working, you know, being a dude. All done. Hell yeah, brother.
Do you copy that?
Turn that on. Woo, man. That wasn't too bad. I cheated a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I cross-chained the back, but I only put a flopper on the front. We did 30 kilometers an hour the whole way anyways. I'm like, dude, if we were like anywhere else, I wouldn't put anything on it. But some oil companies would be like, whoa, that is dangerous. At 30 kilometers an hour, you're not really doing. You could stop on a dime. Unless if you rolled it in the ditch, but all the corners were pretty good, so no problem there either. Oh, nice to have help too. Bro was there helping me, both hands, so that's cool. Job well done. I get a shot of my lineup, but it's all looking good. My last load was just a little crooked. I was like, man, my lineup was looking tight. It's like, think you can get it in there? I'm like, I can get it in there. How long is it gonna take? I don't know. I'll get it there. Oh, nothing like sweaty back and leather seat. All right, no traffic. That's nice. That's because everybody's home already. 6:30. So we started that endeavor at like 1:30. That's not bad, you know. I told him it's like an hour alone. Definitely looks like I'll beat the rain and the darkness, get back home before my Volkswagen turns into a pumpkin, you know? So that's cool. I was like, oh, maybe I should have drove not the old car. I got a set of fog lights. I bought the same set of Oxbeam dual yellow rounds fog lights that I got on here. It's just not, I had to see what it looks like on the car, you know? I'm not much for putting something on that's not period correct, but at some point you gotta draw a line because you need to see so you can drive. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this is decent footage. Not very often you get to do a snubbing rig by yourself. I'm happy it was as short as distance as it was. I thought it was off the first corner. I was like, oh, this won't be bad at all. It's just straight stretch and unload, done. Pretty easy. Yeah, hurry up. You can squeeze by. I'm running out of lane, but you just go ahead. Yeah, I'm coming over. You can go into oncoming traffic. Double solid line. Car coming. Just could have waited 2 more seconds, or you could have fucking did 140 back there at the passing lane. Now you're in front of me and you'll be pretty much there. So winning, losing, I don't know what you're doing. Everybody's on the brakes now.
Excuse me, dick.